Now that your so and yourself are living together, what are some gross unknown things that you found out about him, huh? She eats hot chocolate packets. Like, just rips off a corner and tips the whole packet of powder into her mouth. Marshmallows too. That doesn't sound so bad except dear god the dryness. He takes his cup of coffee into the bathroom with him and drinks it while he's taking a crap. He calls it a turbo shot because apparently it makes him take a dump lightning fast. Henceforth, the crap is called a javalanche. Period farts. Apparently when having your period, some women get very gassy. My girlfriend is one of these women. Also, shifting your body slightly so a fart won't go inside your vag is a thing. I can confirm that it is a thing. Now that she's in her comfort zone, she occasionally terminates her sentences with a fart. The farting started roughly 6 months in. I'm still convinced she has full control over it. Reminds me of that SpongeBob episode where everyone blows a raspberry when they talk, except with farts. I have the exact opposite problem. My boyfriend will not fart, burp, pick his nose, or do anything remotely disgusting around me, and he finds even talking about it absolutely disgusting. The problem? I'm lactose intolerant and we live in France. So sometimes, I just really have to fart, but I just can't do it around him. 2 years now. That is the most brutal thing I've ever heard. My boyfriend has more gas inside of him than the Hindenburg. He's like a huge balloon with a tiny hole on it. Every single morning, I wake up to the sound of the apocalypse trumpets, the sound of a herd of elephants trumpeting together, the sound of the horns of fate. Even before he regains consciousness, his butthole comes to life and becomes a heck pit. His farts are so long and the stench is so revolting I feel like I sleep with the seed of the devil. And every morning, I wake up to this mix of thunders and vile fumes. Living together for over a year, GF farted the other night and it just lingered forever. Turns out she pooped a little. I don't know what other barriers there are to cross. Thank you for listening. I had to help my girlfriend collect a stool sample to bring to the lab for testing. For some reason she was having bloody diarrhea. After that freaking nightmare I gave up on holding in my farts around her. There were no smell farts. Silent ones smell like literal crap. Loud ones smell like a bag of chips being opened but more farty. Haha, I have those stale potato chips farts once in a while. They're great. How clumsy she is. Put on a shirt, hit the TV when her arm gets through, get into bed, knee me in balls ribs thigh, going upstairs, better not have anything in her hands. Laundry baskets are the main culprit. Put a movie back on the shelf, put the other 3 that fell off back onto the shelf. Shower curtains, we've had 3 in 5 months. But she's so cute when afterwards because she feels bad and gets upset. She knows she's clumsy and tries to not be. Doesn't change around my laptop anymore now that I have to hook it up to a monitor to see the screen. She has a terrible habit of either sleepwalking or peeing the bed when she drinks. Needless to say, she rarely drinks. Just make her drink wine and reuse the cork. She really likes to pull out hangnails. She said it's a masochistically wonderful feeling but I cringe every time I see her do it. Like, she intentionally makes hangnails to pull out and stuff. I have caught him urinating in the bathtub. And no, he wasn't showering. There's a phrase for that on Urban Dictionary. It's called sitting in your own pee. My girlfriend technically lives at my house. She's always here, just doesn't sleep over. One thing I hate is her pooping with the door open. That and when cuddling with her butt against me rips a fart on my dong. That's just her boom blowing you a kiss. Surprisingly not much. She's a pretty clean person. The only thing I could knock is the amount of hair that is in the shower each morning. She has long hair, and there is good amount covering the drain each morning when I go to take my shower. Other than that, it's been smooth sailing. Granted we have only lived together for 8 months, but still better than I thought it would be. You should collect it and save it each morning. For Christmas you can weave a basket out of it and present it to her. How thoughtful. Don't know how often I have to tell her to put the toilet seat back down. I've discovered how much candy he actually eats. Other than that, nothing. Shocking. She has to smell everything. She smells my gym socks while doing laundry and tells me how gross my feet are. She insists on picking a blackhead on my back and then smells it, and then she always thinks it's funny to stick her finger down my butt crack, and then smells her finger after. Even after we frick, if I see M on her boobs or she finishes me with her hat, she always smells it. WTF. Is she a dog? I remember being absolutely taken aback by how much time he can spend playing video games. Get up in the morning, make coffee and watch a couple YouTube videos on playthroughs or VG critiques. Maybe play a game while watching said videos. Spend 10-12 hours just playing whatever game he is currently obsessed with, or skipping around to random games if he is feeling restless. Only going to the bathroom when it's absolutely necessary. This means every hour or two he'll suddenly bust out of his chair and sprint into the bathroom to let out a gallon of pee or several pounds of poop. Forgetting to eat. It took some getting used to, but it definitely still fascinates me how into it he gets. Just realized I haven't eaten in about 13 hours. Should probably fix that. In a moment. He just stopped brushing his teeth. Like for real, just stopped. It is the most disgusting thing ever. He could easily go a month or more without brushing. His teeth have a thick layered sweater on. I don't know how to approach him about it either without him getting all bent out of shape. If I ask him to brush his teeth before sexy time or before bedtime, he gets all offended. You need to draw the line with this. It's disgusting. She has sex with other people. Crap, that's less than ideal. Not exactly sure if this fits here because it was only a one-time occurrence, but I had no idea she had the capacity to drink enough to crap herself. We had gone out one night with friends, and like we were wont to do, got fairly schwasted. She had drank enough to need help walking home and to the toilet so she could throw up. No problems here. I've done it before. 20 minutes later, the sounds of gagging have stopped, so I go to get her into bed. However, she is unwilling to move from the toilet and I don't have the capacity or the want to carry her dead weight to the bed. Still no problems. I make a clear path for her to take when she finally decides to head to bed and leave her some water and a trash can in case of further emergency, and I go to sleep on the couch. The problem arrives when, the morning after, I head to the bathroom to relieve myself, and what should greet me, gleaming like the morning sun, a huge freaking log of a turd right in the middle of the bathroom floor. I stood in awe for a few moments at what lay before my eyes. It was almost astounding how perfect it was and that she hadn't stepped on it in her drunken stupor. So, being the good BF that I think, I cleaned it up for her, then cleaned the sheets after she hungrily stumbled to the bathroom a few minutes later. She passed out back in bed for about another 3 hours and I never said a word to her about it. It doesn't really seem like something you can bring up in casual conversation. I don't know if she even remembers it happening. That's my story and I'm sticking to it. That would be the first thing I say to her when she wakes up. Good morning, Barb, you shat on the bathroom. It was a foot-long turd. I have never heard him fart or take a dump. Haven't smelled it either. He intends to keep it that way. A girl I dated for a while. She talks in her sleep. Now this isn't particularly disgusting or anything, but in the middle of the night she would sit up and have a conversation with her eyes wide open. I asked her what was wrong, to which she screamed and went back to bed. This is an ex-so, and this was back when I used to get back acne, and her favorite thing was popping my back zits. We would spend 15-20 minutes a day of her examining my back and her squeezing stuff. I did not mind this, but it got to the point where she was cultivating them like a gardener. If she saw a particularly good one, she would monitor it for days, and it would be the highlight of her day when she got to pop it. I had one monster on my shoulder that she was very excited about and had been putting hot compresses on to get it to where she wanted, but it hurt like a bee on my backpack strap, so I was like, frick it, and popped it. That night she immediately noticed, freaked out on me, and went and stayed with her folks for a week. I guess it meant she cared about me, but still. I wouldn't say gross, but I realize that he eats way worse than I thought he did. If it doesn't have oil, butter, bacon, cheese, the only vegetables he likes are corn and green beans. Occasionally, he will eat a salad. I just want him to be healthy. He's hairy like the Grinch. I crap you not. Even his butt cheeks are furry, and I don't know how poop doesn't get caught in it. I didn't need to live with him to find this out, but when I did, Jesus Christ, I couldn't comprehend how hairy a 18-year-old can be. I don't know how poop doesn't get caught in it. I hate to tell you, but her farts are way worse than mine. That because she holds them for 12-13 days. If he is clipping his nails and one goes shooting off across the room, he doesn't try to find it, so I always end up stepping on them. I just vacuum it up whenever I feel like vacuuming. Refuses to let me sleep without spooning her. She will guilt me into it if I turn over. Brrrr, it's so cold over here. Sometimes I get so lonely when I wake up and are not holding me, etc. Yes, thank you for the face full of hair and the arm that gets sucked into an abyss of nothingness. Try to figure out how a blind woman checks if she's still on her period. No idea? Answer: by taste. Usually I have quite a curious mind, but it turns out there are some things in life I'm content with not knowing. She sheds like a Wookiee. My cat eats the shed hairs. I see the hairs again when the cat poops. She effectively gives my cat dingleberries. He picks his nose and eats it. Excuse me, sir, he is a prince. I had a sew who stopped wearing deodorant after we moved in together. She also started limiting her showers to about once a week or less. I would bring up the armpit stench and she'd argue with me that smelling like flowers is fake, like I was crazy for suggesting it. I was also reluctant to have sex with her because, well, she rarely showered and stank really bad there too. She started accusing me of being gay because I wasn't very interested in her, but when I would tell her why, she'd flip out and tell me what a horrible person I was, etc etc. I'm really glad we're not together anymore. Meanwhile, reading what some of the ladies here are saying about their boyfriends, I feel like I'm quite the prize. My ex used to have the most rancid feet every day. She'd crawl into bed and I'd have to tell her to go wash them things, and she'd make a hissy fit about it. Yes, she showered. He never blows his nose. He thinks snot is disgusting. He doesn't let it hang out of his nose obviously, but he will sniff and sniff and sniff. I told him when we have kids he will have to learn to deal with it, because he is a big boy. A diagnosed, unmedicated, paranoid schizophrenic, who had alcohol problems and was a completely spoiled brat as a 25-year-old. I felt like his mom. I had to clean, cook, do laundry, change the cat litter, everything. He would let dishes pile up on the desk until they started taking over the floor too. I told him I was done with the mess. He said, well, clean more, then. And I said, how about I just move out? He also thought he was a sex god and like I should be pining for his dong all the time. Got offended and whiny when I said no, even if he woke me up randomly for it. It was a bad situation that I didn't even know was there until I agreed to get an apartment with him. I was a bit stuck because I told him I wouldn't leave him with a rent he couldn't pay alone. After the comments about telling me I should be able to just keep up with his mess making while he played video games all day, the few times no fell on deaf ears, the drama queen suicide scares and the alcoholism, I just didn't come home one day. He just had to freaking deal with it. I was done. After that he tried pretty much everything to get me back. From, I need you, you helped me stay sane, I love you, to you owe me $2,000 in rent, I'm going to take your cat to the pound, I'm gonna kill myself, and I held true in my decision. He was surprised. He's someone else's nightmare now. All the crap he said turned out to be bluffing. Surprise. I already knew everything since I've been spending every night with him. Still pees me off with his laziness, but I'm just as lazy with other things. But least mine don't lead to fruit flies or a stained floor. Her hair everywhere. In the toilet, in my food, in my clothes, in my car, at work, even on my. He clips his toenails then pops the nail into his mouth and chews it. The first time he did it I audibly gasped and asked him WTF. He said his entire family does it. I was once clipping mine and he asked to have them. That's where I drew a very solid line. He also has very naturally strong teeth. He only brushes at most once or twice a week. I had strong suspicions that he wasn't brushing when he'd crawl into bed before stopping in the bathroom. I confirmed it when I hid both our toothbrushes and it took him 4 days to ask where they were. I've since told him he needs to brush daily and will bring him his toothbrush every morning and night to help get him into the pattern. Whenever he's finished with a can or bottle of soda he throws it across the room. Why? I have no idea, other than he's lazy. Boys can be gross. The snoring. OMG his snoring. I feel bad because it's not his fault. We've tried everything. Medicines, nose strips, etc. No one gets a good night's sleep. I'm awake all night and either kicking him to try and get even a 20-second break from what sounds like a mixture of a dragon and King Kong roaring, or trying nicely reposition his head or arms to try and clear his airway. I love him too much to go sleep on the couch. Periods in general. I can often smell hormonal changes. Sweat maybe. Then there are mood swings, weird pains in the bodily fluids. There's so much about periods I didn't know about before. I'm glad I only have to suffer that secondhand. Most recent girlfriend was bad at listening to the point where I gave up talking. Before moving in together I didn't realize how much time she had her full attention on her phone. He absolutely hates cleaning. His equivalent to cleaning is throwing stuff away for 5 minutes while complaining every minute. I'm messier than he is, but I'm the only one who washes dishes, cooks, uses actual cleaning products, vacuums, does laundry, etc. He works more than me and is going to school for his masters, so I understand he's super busy, but it's starting to really pee me off. I work too and am a semester away from a masters and I don't like cleaning. Big crap. I'm not a dang maid. I don't have high standards for cleanliness, but it's hard cleaning for two and keeping up. Yes, I am bitter. Talk to him. I had the "this is our apartment, not a bachelor pad. I want it to be a comfortable place to live, and you not helping is making me question our relationship" talk a little while ago, and it did wonders. Be ready to tell him the big things that need done. She shoots in her hand and then gently places it in the water like she is launching a tiny sailboat. This is so the poop doesn't make a loud splashing sound because she is afraid I will hear it. My fiance will boil hot dogs made for grilling for an evening snack and just eat it with a fork and nothing else. That is just unnatural. She can also just live on hot dogs. Does not need much else, so she can be quite cheap on upkeep if need be. Hey man, hot dogs don't have to be grilled and ate for a meal. They can be great for a snack every once in a while. My girl is pretty messy and leaves her clothes and stuff all over the floor of our room and sometimes doesn't wash her dirty dishes. Thinking about it, compared to some of the things in this thread, I realize I don't have it that bad. You have been visited by Happy Snack. Comment keep happying Snacker to be happy forever. If you are new to the channel, you can subscribe. I publish new videos every day. Until then, check another video, or don't. Either way, have a great day you magnificent people.